Have you ever gone on the company's career page and thought, oh, that looks good. Wait, that one too, and maybe that one. Should I just apply for all of them, or is that too much? Now, if you've had that moment, don't worry, you're not the only one. In fact, as a former recruiter and agency owner, I saw this all the time. And today, you're going to get the honest truth about applying to multiple roles with the same recruiter or the same company. When it's smart, when it backfires, and how to do it strategically so you actually get a call back. Okay, so let me start with a story. At my old recruitment agency, we worked with hundreds of candidates every year, and I remember it would happen all the time. The team and I would come in, upload all of the new requirements they'd secured from clients that week. And I would aim to do this on a Friday so that my job adverts would be working for me while I was off over the weekend. So that's just something for you to think about, by the way. Now, I know you've probably had enough of scrolling LinkedIn and job boards by that point, but you can probably pick up some new opportunities before the masses apply on Monday. And if you've got a recruiter like me at the other end, you'll also find that they might be keeping tabs on their applicants that come in over the weekend so that they can impress their client with some suitable resumes early the following week. Anyway, enough about my old work habits and on to what would happen. So if I was lucky, I'd line up a few potential matches, but more commonly I'd get bombarded with irrelevant applicants with little to no experience in the area I'd specifically labelled as must-haves on the job description. Now, what I also started to notice was it was the same names that would crop up over and over and over again. Now, back then, there wasn't the level of automation tools for applicants, and I would just think, what does this person do all day? Literally, I could post anything and I'd see the same names popping up in my emails and on my ATS. Now, one time I had a candidate apply for 10 different roles in the space of 20 minutes. 10, all in one go. Now, role number 1 required experience in pharmaceutical regulatory affairs, role number 2 in business development, and role number 3 was to work for my company. Yes, as a recruiter, totally different jobs. It was like they were throwing darts with their eyes closed, hoping one would hit. And here's the problem with that. Mismatching expertise when you apply to very different roles with completely different skills, qualifications, or specialisms. Now, you're signaling something you don't mean to, and that you don't understand what the job involves, or worse, that you're desperate. And I say that with love because job searching can make you feel that way. You just want someone to say yes. But look, recruiters and hiring managers don't care about that. They want to feel confident that you know what you're good at and that you've got the skills to match. Now, here's something most job seekers don't know. When you apply to a company, they don't just see one of your applications, they'll often see all of them. Recruiters use CRMs and applicant tracking systems, and when they pull up your name, it shows every single role that you've applied to. So if you've submitted 5, 6, 10 applications to very different jobs, you might be hoping it shows enthusiasm and that you're happy to do anything, but it actually screams confusion, or worse, your lack of understanding or carelessness. Look, here's a good analogy to highlight how it dilutes your impact. Imagine trying to shoot 5 arrows at 5 different targets with just one hand. That's what it's like when you try to tailor your resume and cover letter to 5 different roles at once. Your impact gets diluted. Instead of crafting one really strong, aligned, powerful application, you spread yourself thin, and recruiters can tell. I'd much rather see someone put serious effort into one application than submit 10 half-hearted ones. Okay, and the next thing, which might well be annoying to hear because so many people aren't always the biggest fans of recruiters, but it can be annoying. Yep, I said it, I'll be upfront. Recruiters are human, they get annoyed, and when they see you've applied to every single role from finance analyst to software engineer to sales director, it's not a good look. Even if you're technically qualified, it creates a thought process of, what do they actually want? Would they even stay in the role if we hired them? And are they clicking apply all to every company that they find? You don't want your application to trigger doubt. You want it to trigger the thought of, wow, this person is perfect for this role. Okay, so should you never apply to more than one role at a company? No. There are times when it's absolutely fine, even quite smart. So when the roles are clearly aligned, let's say you're a marketing professional and you see 3 openings: marketing manager brand, marketing manager product marketing, marketing manager employer branding. In that case, sure, if you meet the qualifications for all 3 and you genuinely have the experience in each area, go for it. Just make sure you show the recruiter, I've read the job description, I understand the differences, and I'm qualified for this specific one too. Also, when the company is massive, so we're talking about a global company like Google, Amazon, Johnson & Johnson, it's possible that different teams or divisions are running separate hiring processes. In those cases, recruiters may be somewhat siloed, so they may be more forgiving. But the golden rule still holds. Stick to closely related roles. And for the love of all things career related, please don't apply to software engineering and HR and legal in one go, even at a big company. It's a big red flag. Now, the next situation also happens fairly often. Effectively, you apply to one job and then the next week a new one pops up that's actually a better fit. And that's okay. You're allowed to evolve your thinking. Just don't keep applying every few days like a revolving door. Instead, use your second application to demonstrate even more clarity and alignment. You might even acknowledge it in your outreach and know if you're already in direct contact with a recruiter, so you're speaking or exchanging messages, you don't need to apply again or attempt to reach a hiring manager. Your line of communication is already open, so use it. So what's the best move? Well, focus on the role that's the best fit. Start with the role that clearly aligns with your background, strengths, and what you actually want to do next. Tailor your application for that one role and open up communication from there. Once you've got your foot in the door, maybe you're speaking to a recruiter or progressing through the interview process, that's when you can bring up other roles you're interested in. It's a smarter move than applying to 5 different ones right away. In fact, one of my clients did exactly this. He was upfront with the recruiter and said, I'm not totally sure this role is the best fit, and here's why. And then a week later, the same recruiter reached out to him with a new opening that was a much better fit. He got fast-tracked through the process and ended up landing an offer. Now, why? Well, that was because he showed clarity and self-awareness, and recruiters remember that. So be focused, start strong, then explore other options once you've made a good first impression. So yeah, instead of trying to cover all bases up front, start with the role that fits best. Make it easy for the recruiter to say, yep, they're a match, and go from there. Now look, I know job searching can feel like you're playing a numbers game, like more applications mean more chances, but in reality, it's not about applying everywhere. It's about applying right. Be intentional, be specific, and give recruiters a reason to say, yes, this is our person. So instead of thinking, how many roles should I apply for? Try asking, which one can I truly shine in, and how do I show them that? Trust me, that shift in mindset alone will change how recruiters see you and how you feel about the whole process, okay? Now, if this video helped, give it a like, drop a comment with any follow-up questions, and share it with a friend who's stuck in a job application overwhelm right now. And of course, hit that subscribe button for more honest job search advice from someone who used to sit on the other side of the table. I'll see you in the next one.